This is Larry Jordan, the host of the Digital Production Buzz. The following interview is an excerpt from a recent program. To hear the entire program, visit digitalproductionbuzz.com. Iain Richardson is the CEO and founder of Beamshare. This is a web-based video review platform that soft launched last year, but essentially it's brand new to the marketplace. And Iain, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
How would you describe Beamshare?
So as you said, it's a simple way to get media files out to people who need to review them, comment on them, collaborate on them. So for example, our customers are using it to get drafts and final versions to corporate clients or executive producers who need to review the material and put in their comments and kind of collaborate on it.
Well, I can think of any number of web-based video review platforms. Why did you decide to create Beamshare?
So we've gone for something that we think meets a need for our customers, which is something that's really simple to use. It's particularly designed for when you need to get material to somebody outside of the edit suite who's maybe not so technically literate, and we wanted to make it very simple, very quick, and very easy to use. So we think we've got possibly the simplest platform that's out there.
I'm reminded of other CEOs I've talked to who always say that we've designed this to be easy to use. How would you differentiate yourself from the competition as they're looking at some of the other platforms that are out there? What makes you special?
For example, if you wanted to get a clip out to somebody, you can go to our website, you put in the clip, your email, their email, click send. That'll take you about 20 seconds, and then our system does its trick. You both get a link to review it, and it just works, whether you're on a PC, a Mac, or a tablet. Very, very simple. So there's no training, there's no startup time. And as one of our customers described to us recently, as you go further up the management chain, for instance, in broadcasting, interest in technical stuff goes way down. So it has to be simple, it has to be quick. So that's kind of what we're focusing on.
Well, let's walk through the process. Let's say that I've created a file, and let's say that I'm a small production company as opposed to a studio, and I need to be able to get this out to the client who's located geographically somewhere else. What's my process of getting that file so that it becomes as easy as sending a link? Because clearly we've got to transfer the file somewhere, don't we?
Sure. You simply select the file on your PC or Mac or whatever you're using. You put in the email address of the person it's going to. You put in a comment if you want to, explain what it's about, and then you just click send, and then Beamshare will upload the file. It'll process it. It'll make it, ready for whatever platform the receiver is on, whether it's, mobile, iOS, Android, whatever they need, they get in a very simple form, and that all just works away. Depending on your upload connection, it might take a little bit of time, so it's as fast as your connection.
Okay, but wait a second. Email generally has a 5 to 10 megabyte file limit, which means that I've got to then compress that file down to 5 meg to be able to email it? Or how is Beamshare getting the file from my system? Say I've got a 70 gig master file that they need to review.
Sure. So your Beamshare works through a web page. So you're not really emailing the file. You're going to our web page. It's an online system. Going to our web page, and you're basically putting the file name and your email into a form, and then it's a browser-based application that is uploading the file. Then our application will send out a link to you and your client or your colleague.
So I'm not putting the email address in an email program. I'm putting it into a browser interface, and behind the scenes, the browser's grabbing the master file. Is there a file format that you prefer that works best with this? I'm sure uploading a 70 gig file would, for most people, be a little bit time-consuming.
So we'll handle whatever format you give us, but you're quite right that if you're, for instance, a small company with maybe a not very fast broadband connection, you probably want to provide a file that's a manageable size. simply because it's going to be quicker to upload over your connection, because we can't really control that. And then what's also good about it is that the person at the other end doesn't download the file. They just simply get another web interface with a play button and an easy way to put in comments and add their feedback.
Are the comments synced to timecode, or can they see timecode if they're interested?
Yeah, so the comments are actually in the timeline. So if I put in a comment at 3 minutes, 20 seconds, then that will appear with a little colored marker that identifies where it is. And also, it'll have my name against it. So what some of our customers find is that they might have many people involved. There might be 6 different people who need to see this, leave their comments. So a kind of a benefit we didn't quite expect is that everyone gets to see each other's comments. So you tend not to get so much, you tend to get a consensus, so if the first person says they don't like, this scene, the second person will at least see that, so they can kind of get their thoughts in line without having to go round and round on email chains and, lots of catch-up calls.
So now we've reviewed the video. How do we assemble all the comments back to deliver to the editor so they can make changes?
So the editor, everyone involved gets to see this list of comments color-coded against the timeline. So the editor would typically just work from that and just make sure everything's done. And then, there's usually like a loop, isn't there, where you collect all the comments, you make the changes, then they could upload a new version. And one thing we do is we provide a way to put everything in a folder, so you can have first draft, second draft, final version. You can also put documents in there, which is quite handy if you've got the original project spec that says there's only going to be 2 drafts. So if you want a 3rd draft, you're going to have to renegotiate the contract. You might put the script in there. So, collect everything together. And again, the whole idea is to get away from these big chains of emails that are quite difficult to handle and quite time-consuming.
How long have you spent developing this?
It's been about 2.5 years. So it's, quite a process, and a lot of work and a lot of discussions with potential customers to get it in the form that it is now.
What was the hardest part of the development process?
In the early days, it was getting any video file watchable on any device. So, doing all the work behind the scenes to produce, whether it's different versions or to make it streamable or to, so we want the people involved, the editor and their client, to not have to think too much about that. Just upload a file and we do the rest of it. So that was the hard part in the early stage. Later on, I think maybe it's not so much the hard part, but the interesting part has been getting people to use the early versions of Beamshare and then visiting them and looking at their workflows and then fine-tuning what we do to try and make their workflows as simple as possible and just to save them time. So kind of understanding the customers, understanding what's important to them.
How is the system priced?
You can use it for free, and a lot of people do, and we just place a limit on the amount that you can actually have stored on our online system, because we obviously pay for that. And then for customers who want to share more, store more material, or share more with multiple clients, we just charge a monthly subscription.
Is the subscription price based on the amount of material stored or the amount of transmitted or number of clients? How are you pricing that?
We keep it quite simple, so you can store 100 gigabytes of material and you pay, it's 15 British pounds a month, because I'm based in the UK, which is about $22 a month.
So roughly,
and then some of our customers might have multiple team members, so we have a team subscription as well.
For people that want more information about Beamshare, where can they go on the web?
Beamshare.com, very simple, and you'll see right on the front page a little form. Put a file in, put an email address in, and you can start reviewing within seconds.
That web address is Beamshare, BEAMSHARE.com. And Iain Richardson is the founder and CEO of Beamshare. And Iain, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Larry. It's been a pleasure talking to you.